to Kind Hearts, Strong Souls podcast, where reality and courage take the mic and hope leads the way.
The conversation of three friends united by work and held together by mutual care and support. Join Jodi as she moves through the challenges of a cancer diagnosis. The conversation is frank and honest, while also being caring and supportive. The voices explore the real pain and fear of cancer, the strength of faith and friendship and hope and optimism that shines even in life's darkest hours. Whether you're a survivor, a supporter, or simply someone in need of inspiration, this conversation will remind you that even when the road is very hard, hope is harder to break.
Welcome, everyone. Episode 8, Kind Hearts, Strong Souls. I am doing the introduction today because it is my pleasure to introduce another superstar, guest star to our podcast. His name is Ron Kitchen. I met Ron the 3 weeks I was in Mexico. My husband and I just got back. He was the most wonderful neighbor, most awesome human being. And I said, Ron has to be on our show. He has to meet Jodi and Ken. He has the most positive energy and wonderful outlook on life. So it's our pleasure today to invite Ron. We're going to talk today about Ron's cancer. How he manages his cancer every day, a little bit different than Jodi's 20-something pills a day. But Ron will tell us about his episodes with cancer. He'll give us an insight on how he manages his day to day. And just being a friend and knowing him for the 3 weeks, we quickly became friends and watching how he manages his life. And it's just amazing, just like Jodi, like superstars, keeping everyone in a positive outlook and frame. We'll talk a little bit about supportive spouses. So Ron has a wonderful supportive spouse, just like Mr. Steven, another superstar in our world. But mostly tapping into the mindset of Ron and Jodi's again today. Just like episode 7, we talked about how Jodi stays so positive and how she can keep that mindset with everything she goes through. We're going to hear about that today with Ron as well. So without further ado, Ron, please say hello to everyone. Tell us where you're from and tell us a little bit about yourself.
First of all, thank you everyone for welcoming me. I am a Canadian, so I might have a bit of a different story here with respect to paying for hospital bills and getting in and out of surgeries and going through cancer treatments. But overall, I think it's going to be kind of the same kind of story. I'm not sure where you want me to go from there, Brenda.
Maybe talk about how it all happened. When you discovered, and maybe even back up with, wasn't it just a hip replacement you thought you were going in for?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
I was going through a hip replacement, and unfortunately, they cut through a polyp tumor or whatever you want to call it inadvertently, and it contaminated my hips. So it necessitated me to get my entire left side of the body kind of excised from my body itself. So my left leg and pelvis were removed, and I kind of had to deal with the fact that I no longer had a left side of my body, and I had to continue on, I guess, considering whether I had cancer still or not. And they have advised me I don't, but I'm still under a watch.
Mm. And when
Remind
you,
us, oh,
ahead,
I'm
Chuck.
sorry. Remind us, Ron, what kind of cancer do you have?
I
Or
had a
had?
condyloma, right, and it's the kind of cancer that doesn't respond to chemo or radiation. So the
Mm.
only way they can treat it is to actually, cut parts off, unfortunately. And I was actually very, very lucky that they were able to contain it all and remove it.
Wow.
And it was like Ron had already had 2 knee replacements, right? Both knees.
Oh yeah, I've had 2 knee replacements. I've had 9 other operations before that on my knees. I've had a lot of operations.
Yeah, and so you weren't expecting this diagnosis at
Oh,
all.
not at all, not at all. This was right out of the blue, and it just kind of one of those things that the doctor phoned me up and said, unfortunately, this is what it looks like. And it was like, it happened so quick, we couldn't really dwell on the fact that it was cancer. It was like, we're immediately moving to the we have to amputate stage. So it was acceptance immediately.
And
Mm.
no chance for second opinion.
There was actually a doctor in Saskatchewan who had a look at me, and they said, we can't do the surgery. So they had to ship me to another province, and I got it done in Calgary. But as far as the second opinion goes, he was the guy in Canada.
Hmm.
So
Nice.
there really was no other options for me.
And when was this?
This occurred November 30th of 2022. So 3.5 years ago or 3 years ago.
And you bought your place in Mexico just before that.
That's correct. And luckily
Thank
enough,
God you bought a ground floor.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it turns out, hey, someone was looking out for me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, you would think that Ron has been going through this for many, many, many years, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
he got around. It was amazing. He was doing lots of things with us. He takes his dog on the describe your motor. Is it a scooter or do you call it a motorcycle?
Electric tricycle. Let's call it that.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's
Nice.
an Evo bike. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. And
Yeah, it is.
Ron and Lori and Jake get around. Jake's on his leash, so it was a beautiful thing to see. So very, very, very good. Do we
Can I
want to
ask?
talk? Go ahead,
Could I
Joe.
ask a question, Ron? I was just curious. You said when you were diagnosed, you went right to the acceptance stage because you didn't have time to go through any of those other stages.
Right.
Like grief and like the loss of your life, and like you just moved right to acceptance. And I'm just wondering, because I had to go through all those other emotions which were kind of
Right.
difficult. And was that easier, do you think, for you just to go right to that? Did you ever go back and think about grieving or any of that, or did you just hit acceptance and move on?
I guess I was 62 years old when this occurred.
Mhm.
I've had a great life. I mean, I have no regrets. Everything is good. But when you go to places like the Wascana Rehab and to the hospital and you see 5 and 6-year-old kids without limbs,
Mm.
you get a lot of perspective. And it's like,
Yep. Yep.
I really have nothing to complain about here. I didn't worry about my life because I got this absolutely phenomenal wife who just is, I can't say enough good things about her, except perhaps at least now I'm always right.
You're always
That's the
right.
joke. Yeah.
You're always
Okay.
right.
That's a great answer.
Anyway, no, you gain a lot of perspective when you see other people who are young and their life's in front of them, and this terrible thing has occurred. And I'm going,
Mhm.
but I'm in my twilight. I mean, I can still do what I need to do, and it's not like I need to run and jump like they do. I mean, we were doing adding on to our house, and I'm still doing some gyp-rocking. I'm still doing some electrical work. I mean, my wife has to go up the ladder, and I've taught her how to do some wiring of lights and stuff. But I can still do a lot of stuff that I used to be able to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Some things I can't, some things I can, and some things I have to kind of adapt myself to do. So
Yeah.
you just learn. So yeah, I jumped to acceptance right away.
Right away.
Because,
Yeah.
because that's when you get an amputation, as you're well aware, there's a brutal truth that occurs.
Mm.
And you have to accept that because you don't get that limb back or you don't get body parts back. So you must accept it because that's what it is. And once you've done that, you go, okay, I know how to go on my path in life now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Amazing. Did you ever like think you had a superpower, either of you? Like, did you know that other people wouldn't do so well with these diagnoses?
Do
You
you
Well,
know?
want
for
to go first,
me,
Judy?
yeah, for me, well, personally, we all know we've spoken about this a lot. I'm the only one at UVM Medical Center that has survived the surgeries for GIST cancer. So for me, and of course, I didn't learn that until after my surgeries. And had I known that before or during that there was a chance I might not make it, I don't know how my mind would have shifted at that point. Like you, Ron, I was 55 when I was diagnosed, but like you, even though I was young, I felt like I had a full life. Like I had no
Mm-hmm.
regrets. I had beautiful children. I did things I never ever thought I would do in my life. And because of that, I was satisfied and happy. And but then you think about it and you're like, well, but I really don't want to die, but I'm okay if I do. Then you go into that
Mm-hmm.
back and forth and stuff like that. So I know for me that after my surgeries that I learned that I was the only one to survive at UVM, it put a different perspective in my life too, in addition to the one I had already been working on from being diagnosed from cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could have died. I could not be here today. But thankfully, I have an amazing surgeon and a phenomenal medical team who literally got me through all of that along with Stephen. And they would constantly see me, they would constantly check my blood work, constantly eyes on Jodi to see how she looks. I was 97 pounds, looking gray, not looking good. Like that's how I presented after my second surgery. And so little did I know others hadn't survived. I felt like I might not because I just felt so bad. I felt terrible after my second surgery. And then I had the internal bleed like a couple of months later, which landed me in the hospital for a couple of more weeks to sort that out. And so there was a time after my second surgery where I kind of was wondering if I was going to make it. To be honest with you, I didn't feel it. I would never say it out loud to anyone, but I felt like it, you know. So I don't know if that answered your question, Brenda.
Yeah. I mean, I'll always be amazed, and by both of you, and
Yeah.
I appreciate both of you so much with just your attitudes in life. And we talked about Lori and Stephen a little bit. Is there a little more to go? Is it because you have such great support that you can
Mm.
keep these wonderful attitudes and be so friendly and happy and live life the best you can?
I mean, we
Just
talked about that at our last podcast. What other option is there?
mhm,
Coming from
mhm.
somebody who's optimistic and positive? For me, I just didn't see any other alternative for me. I know other people had would go different routes, but personally, it would have just changed my whole person to go into a dark gray area, and I had no energy to do that and no desire, and it was just easier for me to be who I am. And
Yes, good.
I'm positive and happy and thankful and grateful and all of those things. And I have a superpower? Not really. My superpower when I was back after my surgeries was just healing my body.
Mm,
Just heal body, and that was what I was focusing my superpower on.
mm, nice.
That's an amazing story, Jodi. I think for myself, um, once you've been given a fairly dramatic diagnosis, if you will,
Mm.
you kind of look death in the eye a little bit. And then when you come through it, I think you have a different appreciation for every new day that you're living. You kind of you move forward and you're going like a lot of people go, oh yeah, we're going to do the same things yesterday. I'm going, oh man, this is another new day. This is great. And it must be almost the way a dog looks at life. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, yay, dog food. And just everything is good and great. And you're moving forward and every day is a bonus.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
unless you've been where we've been, kind of outlook in life, it automatically makes you more optimistic.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really a nice way to put it. Like
Mhm.
every day is a gift, and boy, embrace it, right?
Yeah.
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 And I just wanted to carry on a bit with when you were talking about spouses. I mean, uh, Lori, as you've said, is absolutely amazing. And when I can't do some things now, so she's just automatically picked it up and run with it. But it's not just Lori, it's the rest of my family.
Mm,
Like nobody treats me as disabled. And as you know, all of our friends here,
mm-hmm.
they're the first ones to make all of these limping jokes and stuff. I love my friends. They're absolutely amazing people. And they'll do anything for me. And they make my life um, round again, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um,
And
Nobody
they
treats
followed
me.
him to Mexico, most of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So many people. Oh, I'm Ron and Lori's friend. I'm Ron and Lori's.
That's
But
great
nobody
though.
treats me like I've had cancer or I'm disabled. I'm just Ron, and there's something that's very fulfilling into the fact that I have not changed who I am, and they treat
Mhm.
me exactly the way I was prior to my diagnosis.
Beautiful.
It's amazing. It's great.
Yeah,
And
that is great.
Ron, yeah, did you go through any kind of professional support, therapy, anything like that?
No,
No.
no. Like I said, I had tremendous support. I never ever felt down.
Mm.
I never felt that. And my wife might say something totally different here. But I don't feel that I was ever that way. I don't think I ever um, took pity on myself because worrying and pity and thinking about these things to me are almost a selfish approach to life, and I can't do that. That's just I've been given a gift to be here still, so let's make the most of it.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and use your energy wisely. It's not.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's not
Beautiful.
worth worrying. And although here I preach not worth worrying, and every 3 months I go down that worry road.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
And I waste a little bit of energy. And as a matter of fact, I'm just getting ready for our next podcast, which is talking about going for scans every 3 months and how that feels for me and what it looks like and all of that. And part of my what I want to talk about is worry and how that affects my mental psyche, and how I try to convince myself every 3 months that I'm not going to waste energy on that. I need to conserve my energy and use it, wisely. I tend to worry, and I get anxiety, and it's a real thing. And
Absolutely,
no, ma-
it is.
no matter how hard you try to push it out of your head, that worry is still there until you get those results. And so I'm going to talk about that on our next podcast, about the worry and how much energy I wish I wouldn't waste on that. But I
And
do.
and once again, like I think I might have mentioned before, I am very optimistic, but I certainly don't want to diminish
Mhm.
anybody's feelings about when they do worry or when they are
Yes.
they have concerns, because those are real and they take a lot of work. It's a lot of mental exertion just to cope with this stuff. And I was really lucky. Uh,
Hmm.
and not everyone is going to have that same experience that I had.
Yeah, I always say that the mental toll is almost worse than the physical toll,
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
regard to my journey anyway. And I'm hearing that
For
it's
sure.
probably the same with yours too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
And that's why I thank God that he gave you guys such beautiful, beautiful mindsets, you know, like
yeah,
it's remarkable
yeah,
to hear and see and be witness to.
yeah.
Hmm.
I did go to a support group early on. I remembered. It was in a church, but I'm not going to say where. But anyway, they had this support group for survivors, and I thought maybe I'll just check that out and see what it's like. So I did go, and I didn't go back because the women there was probably maybe 6 or 7 women and the moderator lady, and they would tell their stories, but um, there was no positive light in their stories. It was always darkness. And I get that. I get that because my story could be very dark if I wanted it to be. And so all of these women, they just were milling in this pool of anger, and I don't know, it was not the emotions or the mental support I was looking for. Um, they would have brought me down,
Hmm.
honestly. So I never went back. It was not the support group for me. Um, I haven't found one since. But it just goes to show that more likely than not, um, mentally, you could go to some deep, dark places and stay there.
But I think what's really important to note here is you you took the initiative. The fact that you took the initiative means you were really excited about trying to fix something that you weren't able to fix yourself. So I think that's hugely important, because you're
Mm.
saying that's a whole good reason for optimism.
Yes.
Huge. So when people go out and they start seeing things for themselves, whether you like it or not, that means you're on the road to recovery. That means you're
Yes.
going down the right
Nice.
path.
In the right direction. Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Good on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for pointing that out.
it's
Yeah,
true.
just an
And
observation from the sideline. I think both of you have the kind of personality that sort of attacked the situation, if I can say it that way. You leaned into it, and I think some people, unfortunately, have a personality that retreats from the situation. And I think that's where these dark places come from that Jodi, you were talking about a minute
mhm,
ago.
Yeah. Yeah. You're spot on, Ken.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I know,
I'm
go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead, Ron.
I was just going to say, I mean, I know this is sort of a faith-based a podcast. I think that's a place where faith can take a lot of power. Okay, I think when somebody can, I guess, release themselves to a higher power, that's hugely beneficial to them, because they can just kind of offload a lot of that hurt
Mhm.
and worry and stuff.
Mhm.
And it's not for everybody, but for some people, I think that can make a significant improvement in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's helped me. I've always been Catholic. I was raised Catholic, went to Catholic schools. Um, so God's always had a place in my heart. And it helps me to know
That's
that,
great.
yeah, to know that I'm going to have a soft landing at some point,
Hmm.
and
Nice.
and and that's going to be okay with me. I've already talked with my mom, who's up in heaven, and she's agreed to make my bed, and like it's all good. Like, I'm not that part of it. I I don't fear. um I just don't want to leave like tomorrow.
No,
If you
no.
know what I mean.
Yeah,
Your brand
I
new
know exactly what you're saying.
grandchild and everything.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. But I feel very comforted in the Lord and the scriptures, and Ken helps me from time to time when I'm feeling a little lost. And he'll send me scriptures to read and look at to remind me. And I like Brenda, read a prayer book every day. And I look for guidance all day from him. And it's just been always a part of my life and a part of my makeup, and I'm thankful for that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I think both of you could lead support groups.
Oh,
In your own, both of your ways, you have a lot of similarities, and I know in Ken's work, he often is helping guide people with this new diagnosis of cancer and stuff. So,
Yep.
um, you know, I hope just Ken listening to your guys' attitudes and mindsets will help him tell people how important that is
Absolutely.
to
It's
get
absolutely
help.
refreshing. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very refreshing.
yeah.
Mhm.
Did we cover everything today? Is there anything we missed?
Um,
It's hard when our producer shifts her
I
role
know.
to the
Interviewer.
facilitator. So
I know.
we're missing one of your roles here, Brenda. But we covered a
I
lot,
have.
that's for sure.
I'm going to ask a question for Ron. I wrote
sure.
about this in my book. People, a lot of, and I think you actually might have said this, or Brenda might have said something to us about you talking about this before, about why did I get cancer? I wrote in my book, again, being faith-based, I wrote, why not? Why not me? Like, God picks those who are strong enough to do or to go through certain burdens, and he chose me to be a strong one. And so I've always lived with that. And instead of saying, why me, why me, why me, I'm like, well, why not me? Why not? Why not let me fight it? And
Wow.
and bring my faith out even more. Like, that was my mentality when I heard the people, people were be like, why me, why her, why, I'd be like, why not? So um how do you feel, Ron, about the why me and the why not me?
Um,
If
well, I mean, that never came up. I
No.
mean, it just was. And it's like, okay, well, now that it is, how do you deal with it? So
Yeah.
I never really worried about, why did this happen to me?
Yeah.
It just did. And
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
well, I mean, why does it happen to a 6-year-old kid? Like I said before, like there's no rhyme or reason. It just, some things happen.
Yeah.
And it's how you kind of pick yourself up and move on that really defines who you are. So it comes down to how you are prepared to deal with uh, things that go wrong in your life, whether it's
Hmm.
the death of a child or cancer, or there's so many terrible things that happen in life.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with this? And a lot of people have a lot of different ways of dealing with this kind of grief.
Hmm.
For me, like I said, I've got this amazing support group here, composed of my wife and my kids and my friends. Um, I I just feel really, really lucky that I'm in that place where they can all help me just be who I am.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's great. I've talked to a few cancer patients who are either in remission or cancer free, and I've heard a lot. I've heard them say a lot, once they were in that state, cancer free or in remission, that their support was gone.
Oh,
Their support group was, I mean, but for a few close people, their big support group had vanished because they were now in remission and cancer free. And I remember them saying that they felt kind of alone because, still they're dealing mentally with the mental aftermath of all of this, and they
Right.
still need help. And yet the big picture of the big support group is kind of vanished. And so I was happy when you just said that your support group and Brenda said followed you right to Mexico, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
amazing. It's amazing because honestly, Ron, I don't hear that a lot. I hear the opposite.
Wow.
And so I'm so happy for you that you continue to have that group with you.
Yeah.
I personally have an amazing tribe. I call them my tribe. I have a lot of people who follow me. I have a lot of people who I barely know, but I'm friends on Facebook. And when I see them in public, they will still come and give me a hug, even though I barely know them.
That's
And it's amazing.
yeah.
And so I have this really extended support group in my whole life, in my church, in my
Hmm.
bingo, and all the places I go. And I'm just happy that yours stuck with you. I don't have any doubts that my support group is always going to be here for me. Um, but I do feel sad for those who have told me that, their journey's over and therefore their support group is kind of dissipated.
Well, you would feel abandoned, I would think, to some
Mm.
respect, and that
Yeah,
would be so hurtful.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I said I feel so sad for them because,
yeah, yeah.
they're still kind of mentally sifting through all of it and still need support. So I've always told people, I have my own tribe and I will be on your tribe any day you need me. You just
Yeah.
let me know. I'm a loyal, dedicated person. Even though I'm going through my stuff, I will always be there for you through your stuff.
That's
Nice.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are both amazing, and it's truly no accident why you're so amazing too. It feels like the support around you is just unbelievable and beautiful.
For
So,
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, I think it's time to close. I have a special prayer planned. It's a prayer that I try to say daily for my friends that I know are affected with cancer. It's to St. Jude. And if anyone knows St. Jude, he's known as the patron saint of desperate situations and hopeless cases. So when, he's a good person to pray to when things seem hopeless. So,
Hmm.
anyways,
That's
go
the
ahead.
church I go to.
It is St. Jude,
It's St.
right?
Jude. Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I
Um,
thought I saw him the other day.
see?
See, I was going, "Hey, Jude, hey, Jude."
Oh, yes.
Good one. That's a
No,
song
that's
our
not a good
band
one.
sings
That's
too.
horrible. Terrible,
We could
terrible.
start our prayer with
Sorry.
Hey Jude.
Hey, Jude.
Um, Dearest protector Saint Jude, our companion, you are the bearer of abiding hope. Jodi Bashon, Julie Engel, Mark Sargent, Steve Delorme, Jay Holmes, and Ron Kitchen place themselves in your care as they bear the cross of cancer. We trust that you will walk with them, give them courage when they're afraid, strength when they grow weary, hope when it seems all is lost. Most faithful patron, never leave their side. May our friendship remind us always of the love God offers to each of his faithful children and the healing he provides to all those who believe in his saving power. Amen.
Amen.
From our kind hearts to your strong souls, thank you for listening. Your support helps us to share hope, so please leave a rating, leave a like, subscribe to the podcast, and share frequently. God bless you all.